welcome to another edition of Decks That Have Been Played. Yeah, that's right. This is kind of a weird Would You Rather that I've been doing where I look at the decks that have been played by myself and my friend IRL, and we kind of just see what we get, open some decks, play some blind sealed, do it in an adaptive way so that if one deck wins twice, we bid chains on it for the third game. And it's just a fun way to go. And oddly enough, these two decks both had two of the same houses. And these two decks are the Lord of the Invisible Harbor. And then we also have Dorky Scientist Zaziax. Yeah, this is the sickest name ever. This is going to be a candidate for best deck name ever. So let's see what they are. So we're going to call this Deck A and this one Deck B. And let's see what the Lord of the Invisible Harbor has to offer. Alright, so you can see the stats right there for it. And why did I enjoy this deck? Because both were enjoyable decks. One is I got a bunch of cards between my friend and I that we had never seen before. First off being Professor Garwin, which has a reap ability. You may choose a card in your archives and put it into your hand. And has you get an A+, which is pretty cool. Get a couple armor drones, Australia Seaboard, a couple information exchange, a couple PI Suivens, which you never were sad to see, science, static charge, submersive principle, theory and conjecture, which is the only card that really works with Professor Garwin, unfortunately. But aside from that, it's pretty nice. And then here's another new card that was in this one. Widespread Corruption. After a player gains Ember from Reaping, a creature they do not control captures that Ember. So this is almost works kind of like Curiosaurus, but not quite. It's a little easier to figure out, but you get to have some fun where you're not getting the Ember right away. You're going to have to fight afterwards as well. So it's pretty neat, and it's got Widespread Corruption with a picture of a Sanctum Knight, a Dino, and a Star Alliance character, which is pretty cool. In the flavor text, skim a little off the top, a little off the middle. So that's pretty neat. It's got a couple Cement Shoes, which are always really nice. Hard Simpson's really cool in this deck because it has a Kerwallop, which will trigger that. Jackie Tar is also nice for being able to potentially trigger Hard Simpson for yourself. Hobnobber is never a bad thing to see. Mug is cool. Couple Willas that, they got the fight ability, and still, you never sad to see that. And some Taunt, which is always welcome. Then it's got a Forging an Alliance, which is not the greatest key cheat, I would say. If anything, it's lower down, but, I mean, it is a key cheat at the end of the day, which is cool. I like they're holding up shards here. I think, are these shards we haven't seen before? No, we've seen the Mars one. That looks like a Mars. No, this is a Dino shard, looks like. Star Alliance shard. I don't know, this is cool. Hopefully, maybe we're going to see more shards in the future. That'd be kind of neat with different houses. Agent Sapedia is nice. Tabor, always welcome to see. Xeno Training is classic. Raise the Tide card is how I see this. And it also creates the proposition where that your opponent may have to actually raise the tide against you, or else you're just capturing two all the time. So it's kind of fun in that sense. Karkar for protection. A couple of Light of the Archons with an Officer Blaster is really nice, just making one creature really beastly. Then we got a Techno Babble and a Zap. What is the synergies in this one? Well, honestly, it doesn't have a ton of like synergy. It just does its thing well. Like, it just does everything you expect it to do with the cards it has, and it does it quite efficiently. So it's really nice in that sense. There's a lot of good ways of dealing with everything. This card just plays. It's nothing I would say particularly special, but it's not disappointing either. So there's that for the first one, which is the Lord of the Invisible Harbor. Next up, we got Dorky Scientist Zaziax. And what this deck has is, it's got a Master the Theory, Forgive or Forget, Mechabui. I'm not a fan of this card. Professor Garwin, two Professor Garwins for the first time. Think Twice was the first time I've seen this card, which is really cool in this deck. Armor Drone, Bill Jordan, Edai, Final Analysis, which is always fun. Phase Shift, Static Charge, Theory and Conjecture, United Action, which is a lot of fun. with the way things can come out. Agent Cepedia, Colonist Chapman, another card I had never seen before, which is really cool. So non-Star Alliance neighbors gain get an extra ember basically. And then you got Hawkins, which is really cool. Again, more non-Star Alliance stuff. Oh, excuse me, I don't know why I'm yawning today. Cheapers. And then we got a Valmart, which is great, and then 2 Officer's Blaster, which will be relevant as we go further into the deck. You'll see double Espeon, which is cool. Triska, Technobabble ×2, and then we move on to Untamed, and this is where you gotta remember the Officer's Blasters. We got Luke Bo the Scarred, Ritual of Life, which is one of my favorite cards in the new set. Just being able to bring things back that have a potent necessary need. Chelonia is great for that. All Tied Up is nice. Infighting. Mookling. Officers, Blasters on Mookling. That is correct. That is the most disgusting thing because you get it to get an extra 4 power. So, yeah, it's no slouch. And then you, not to mention, you have the potential to Reap or Sow twice and give it another 6 power counters. Oh, but wait, there's more. There's the Fittest as well. And then you can return a creature from your discard pile to your hand. So lots of recursion in this deck, which is a lot of fun. This is my choice between the 2 decks. I love the Forgive and Forgets. The Mechabui I do not like. But it does create an interesting... It's a disruptive card. There's no doubt about it. It provides disruption. Bill Georgian's always nice. Final Analysis. Yeah, it's great. It's a great one. Phase Shift, you gotta love it. I like to think twice Phase Shift even because you're getting to play a bunch of cards that way, depending on what you need actually. But no, I say you probably don't do that in this case. But Think Twice is just really cool. There's nothing really here other than Technobabbles, which you probably are not going to use. But I mean, you have the All Tied Up, you have Infighting to pull off of, Reaper, so those are all great candidates. The Star Alliance does very Star Alliance things. You like the way it has you want to make sure you're putting your board correctly because of all this. Yeah, you see there's both these Chapman and Hawkins do not want you to have Star Alliance neighbors to get full benefit there, and Valmart's just a staple now. The double Espeon can be really nice for having some shenanigans with being able to use other creatures, which is great. And then obviously the Triska getting your creatures is really nice, especially with the ability to do things like, I know this isn't ideal for Hawkins, but if you have nothing better, you can just deploy Hawkins after you've already deployed something or played something next to Triska to get 1 more creature ready, which is really nice. Lupo is just a classic beastly creature that deals a little bit of damage when it comes into play. A little bit of Ember Burst, and then Chelonia is obviously doing its thing in here, although there isn't a lot of creatures here. There's only 1, 2, 4 creatures total, which is not ideal for that. But I mean, if you play one early, you do have the chance to bring it back with Witch of the Dawn, which is nice. Especially if it's a Lupo, because then you're doing some silly things there with getting to deal damage to your creature as well. This deck for me is my choice between the 2. It has all the things I absolutely love. So Dorky Scientist Zaziax is my choice. I don't think it's the one I played when we played these IRL to start with, but they're fun decks. I want to know which one you would rather be playing if you had to go head to head. So hope you're enjoying this, folks, and as always, may your Ember never be stolen and your keys forged promptly. Have a good one.